Hello everyone and welcome to the 2S ACC Nations Cup. This is round 1 of 4, we're at Silverstone this weekend, and well, all I can say is welcome. I'm joined in the commentary booth by my good friend, I'm just going to call him Whiskey for now. I'll get into all the personal names a bit later. Whiskey, how are you doing? Where are we today? What are we doing? What's the info?
Nations Cup. So this will consist of 4 races. The first one taking place here in Silverstone, and then the next one is going to be over in Germany at the Nürburgring, then Imola in Italy, and then finishing out the season with Suzuka in Japan. And so basically, we have these manufacturers, these car manufacturers from these 4 different countries, and they're all going to battle out to see which nation has the top step. So it's not going to be a paired team fight or a single driver fight. It's going to be a fight of the nations, which is pretty cool as we start qualifying right now. So the prize for this is going to be 2 hours of Driver 61 coaching. We're not sponsored by them, but it's just something we wanted to show our appreciation for the drivers. So the winning drivers will get 2 hours of Driver 61 coaching. And today we have 2 races and 2 qualifying sessions. So the first qualifying session is going to start right now. It's going to be 10 minutes long, followed by a 20-minute race, followed by another 10-minute qualifying session, and then finishing off with a 30-minute race. So a lot of action today. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a great set of races today. And right now we are nice and warm and dry, and it's going to be, I think we have a really good lineup of drivers, a lot of familiar faces, a lot of new faces, so I think it's going to be a lot of good action today. What do you think?
A lot of information to unpack there, but yeah, no, I can definitely agree. And I think the thing that makes this, so interesting is this is a format that, hasn't been done anywhere else. As we see Aston, okay, I have a slight feeling, sorry ladies and gentlemen, we have been having some problems with the server, especially on my side, so I'm just going to put us over to the Be Right Back screen. But yeah, no, as you said, Whiskey, it is an absolutely amazing series, isn't it? I mean, it's a new idea, the 4 countries, and the biggest thing is of course the teamwork. As you said, they won't be competing in these small teams, where it's a lot easier to communicate. They're going to have to quite literally be competing in teams of who knows how many, according to your nation. So my question to you is, Whiskey, is, how do you, as a racer, how do you prepare for something like this? Are you constantly working with the guys in your team? Or are you, have you kind of told everyone, listen, we're doing our own race, if you really need something, talk? What's kind of the strategy going into this?
I think there's going to be a few different strategies going into this. There's the one that will kind of stick out to me, and we'll see how it goes, is ultimately these drivers want to get the best result as possible without impeding the people from the same country. So they don't really want to be going, if someone's P2 from, Germany, and P1 is also Germany, and it's down to the wire, if I was P2, I would just stay in P2 and just make sure that I secure P2, because ultimately, it wouldn't just be me getting the trophy, it would be Germany, So I think they really have to, it's a very different mindset that these guys are going into this race with, that, it's very much team player, and you have to think about what's best for the entire, country in this example. So it's going to be very interesting for these people, because usually they only have to worry about themselves or only have to worry about their teammates. So it's going to be cooperative, and I think that's a really cool idea from 2S, and I think we'll see a lot of very interesting stuff going on. And if you are wondering what countries all of these are from, you just have to look at the manufacturer. So BMW is Germany, Lexus is Japan, Lamborghini is Italy. Just going from where the manufacturer's from.
And honestly, that's what makes this interesting as well, because if you know, I mean, now they're, fighting for a country, but they also don't have, a free car choice. They're kind of, stuck with one of the cars their country makes, which, in fairness, could be good, but in all fairness, it could also, turn out quite bad, because there isn't, there isn't really a car that you like. It might not be the best. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are currently heading into qualifying. Well, halfway through qualifying, I assume. We are getting the first laps set now. We should be getting them. I think we've got one, two. Yes, we have. Yeah, it is honestly, I cannot wait for this. I think, this race around Silverstone, Whiskey, definitely... Silverstone's a tricky track. If you don't know the track 100%, and you're not really comfortable with it, you can easily make a mistake, and that mistake could cost you a lot of time. So I think the biggest thing, is for these drivers kind of just to keep their head in and kind of keep consistent. Because if one of them makes a mistake, they could end up screwing so many other people, from their own country and, from people they're supposed to be working with, they could just be screwing with them.
Definitely. And also, talking about the later in this, almost a mini series, this cup, it's 4 races, but each race week is very different. So today, we are doing 2 races, one 20-minute, one 30-minute. And then next week, we're doing kind of the regular 2S 60-minute race, 1-hour race. The week after that is going to be a 75-minute race. And the week after that is going to be a 2-hour, almost basically endurance race. So it gets longer and longer every week, which I think adds to the interest and the spice of this cup. But yeah, as we see numbers on the board, we have Orlando Rats right up at P1, who wasn't in the previous series, and so that's where I started, and so I'm not familiar with him, but he did an incredible job, a 157.6, followed by Chris Wachowski, the runner-up of the previous season championship, followed by Ruben van de Hutting, Rupert, George Brabner, who was the champion last season, and Travinsky. So yeah, very strong front row, and then Sam Chumley, Timo Braun, a lot of big names, and yeah, Timo, the German representing BMW and Germany, should be pretty exciting. I know he likes to call that car a big old beast. So I wonder how he's doing driving that, and how he was practicing that.
Yeah, no, honestly, I mean, to be quite fair, I do have to say, after the new, 1.8 update, these BMWs, I'm surprised, I think if it was a free choice, I think we would have be seeing a lot more of them, because that BMW, it is quite literally a beast, isn't it? It's an absolutely amazing car. Ladies and gentlemen, I do once again want to apologize for technical difficulties. Trying my best to sort out this side. It looks like it's something with the liveries, but that's fine. We will work through it. But yeah, no, really interesting. Rats. That's quite an unbeatable time, isn't it? I mean, the difference, Whiskey, between P1 and P2 is 4 tenths. Actually, yeah, just a little less than 4 tenths. That is a lot of time, isn't it? As we see the BMW flying once again. Give me a second.
Definitely, it really is. Yeah, I mean, usually, you'll see a front row and maybe, 3 or 4 drivers right at the top, and then a bit of a gap. But, Orlando's really come out with that lap time and really set the pace for everybody else. So we'll see if in the next 2 minutes, in the next lap or so, if people can come up to meet that expectation. Also, if you want to see, Philip Ensel has a McLaren with a Pepsi livery, which I think is pretty interesting. Number 48. If it's working right now.
I'll definitely have a look at that in a second. Yeah, no, sorry, just talking. We are thinking of uninstalling our custom liveries real quick, because we have realized that there has been some problems with them, unfortunately. So if folks, you can just give us 2 minutes, we're gonna be right back. But in the meantime, you're gonna have to, Whiskey, you're gonna have to give us a bit of an update, a blind update here. you're gonna have to tell us about the session, about us actually seeing the session.
Definitely. And, with a minute and 20 or so seconds left of qualifying, people are going to start putting in these last few laps and really trying to, it's basically all or nothing now. Go as hard as they can, and they're either going to set a killer lap or, find the limit of their car and break it. As we have Orlando Rats still top of the charts, followed by Chris Bukowski, not be able to make that gap any smaller. Ruben Van Hutting and Sam Chumley in the pits, not going to set any more laps. Followed by Sam Chumley and Badescu and Rupert. Followed by, right now, P7 is George Brabner, P8, Timo Braun, and followed by Jura Shavinsky and Krischbaum. Followed by P12 is Eligner, then Philip Ansel, Rene Bon, Nico Veldman. I think Nico Veldman's the one that usually doesn't like to qualify, so it's interesting to see him qualifying, but he is qualified P15, basically right in the center of the grid, followed by Oliver Stricker, Chumesky Kruzvar. Don't think I've seen him before. Followed by our own Christian Stricker, Ben Luce, Kononov, Jasper Smelt, Jensen, Verniolo, Renoa, followed by Noppen, Bedell, Betch, Moulton, and Chikeka in the back. And Chikeka actually didn't set any time as we finish our qualifying. Orlando Rats has taken pole position in the first race for the National Cup, or the Nations Cup, sorry. As everyone is basically finishing the last lap and done with qualifying.
Okay, that sounds good. Sorry, we are kind of getting into the session. We should be in there right before the race start, which will be brilliant. Please, ACC. Yeah, unfortunately, we have had some problems. After a new update, we've had some server problems and livery compatibility issues currently are running. Theory, everyone, is that one of the liveries might be a bit corrupted and might be causing some issues. So we're hoping that hasn't affected ACC itself. It shouldn't have, but we're gonna definitely try and bring this to you guys as soon as possible. But yeah, what a grid! I mean, for Orlando to take pole position by that much of a margin, I think he has a I'm not gonna say easy. I'm not gonna say it's an easy race in front of him, but that's a decent right race, if we have to say, Whiskey. He isn't going to be stressing much about the guys behind him.
I think it all depends on the start. He has the pace. He has incredible pace. At least he has a good. Maybe actually, no. The thing about qualifying is you really can't see their pace. You can just see their raw racecraft. Where they are at their best. And so sometimes you might see someone who gets a really good qualifying that does drop back during the race because of lack of consistency. But we do have a 20-minute sprint race coming up. So it is kind of just a big sprint. And that might aid these people who are really, really good at qualifying, as we see the cars lining up. Orlando in that bright orange livery.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we have now reloaded ACC. We've taken out the custom liveries. We have done absolutely everything. So, as far as we know, there shouldn't be any more crashes. We have tried our best. We're gonna hope that it works, and we will talk. I guess we'll see at this point. Unfortunately, it's just a game of we'll see.
So 2 minutes, 23 seconds till the outlap starts. It looks like it's going to be a very nice day today. 21 degrees Celsius, track temp is 26 degrees, and sunshine throughout the entire race. Let's see if that keeps up for the second race and second quali as well.
I hope it does.
As we see, yeah,
I hope it does.
that would be nice.
Around Silverstone, oh my word, it is absolute chaos, isn't it? We've definitely, in real life as well, rain around Silverstone, it's bad, but in ACC, it only gets worse, doesn't it? It only gets worse and worse and worse.
And we are seeing in the chat, it sounds like one person is very quiet compared to the other. So I don't know
Yeah, that's been said
who's
quite a bit
which
ago.
one.
Don't worry, that's been
Okay,
said quite a
okay.
bit ago, so I've already fixed that. Don't worry. Don't
Awesome.
worry. Already fixed that.
So yeah, we'll definitely try and get the liveries to work after this race or after this today, because these are some pretty awesome liveries that people have made. So it is unfortunate. It is unfortunate that they're not working right now. But we still have 3 races to go after this, so we'll try and get those up and running.
And I mean, unfortunately, at least we can fix them. At least we can fix them. All hope is not lost. At least we can, That's
Definitely,
all that matters.
definitely.
That is all that matters. 1 minute here from race start, everyone. Orlando Rats leading on pole position. See with Kowski. That took a second. On him, on the front row next to him. I just don't have words, man. My words are just gone today. I do apologize. Van der Hooding is on the second row, joined by Brobner. Samuel, P5, and next to him, P6. I think it's Badeshu. I think I'm. Yeah, Milan.
Yeah,
Badeshu.
I think so.
I just want to check. Rupert then in 7th, and joining him on that row is Braun. And in 9, we finish it off with Hubert. And alongside him is Victor. That is your top 10 for this race. It's going to be interesting. I cannot wait. 10 seconds here. Let's see what happens. Of course, going to have a bit of a formation. Then it should be go, go, go. Isn't it, Whiskey?
Definitely. Yep. Okay. And we'll see these starts. Always very interesting to see how the drivers do, because we have in the past seen a P1 drop down to a P3 just because of the start, and so they really have to pay attention and focus and be ready to lay the hammer down right at the beginning in order to secure their position or gain them.
I do want to ask, have they started yet?
Yes, they are rolling.
Okay, that is not ideal. Whatever has happened is not showing on my side, unfortunately. I have absolutely no idea, man. ACC has just decided it just doesn't want to work. Oh, this is a tad embarrassing. So I've gone to search for a server, and it isn't coming up at all. Okay, if you can, Whiskey, just give us a bit of a live race update. I'm going to try and fix this, but I think the server has completely shut me out. I think give us the live race update. I would appreciate.
Sure. Did you? Are you using the? Oh, actually, no. Never mind. That wouldn't be. That's. Yeah, I don't know what would be going on. But as we see in the outlap, we have a lot of people trying to get their tires nice and warmed up. Shouldn't be a problem today. It's not damp. It's not cold, so they should have no issue getting their tires warmed up. We just see them weaving back and forth as we go on our outlap of the first race of this Cup series.
Oh my word. So I've gone to search for a server, and it's saying no servers found.
That did happen for me. Make sure you click all. Where it says GT3, GT4. Yeah. That for some reason fixed it for me. I don't know why.
Pinging servers 1 out of 1.
Oh.
And then
okay.
It just ends up saying no servers. So I've done it again. This yeah.
Because could it possibly be your internet connection?
No, it isn't. Because I currently I thought that as well, and my internet connection has told me that no, it's fine. Stream is still running quite smooth. Yeah, everything on my side is perfectly fine. So I would not be, because it says pinging 1 out of 1, and then it just says, yeah, it just tells me, hey, listen, you can't do this. I think I have found it now, so we'll have a look if we can get in via this. I think we can. And I think
okay, they're still on the outlap, so you have. I think 1 more straight.
Don't worry. I think I'm in. I think I'm in. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Hopefully that does not happen again. Once again, everyone, we do apologize. Yesterday we did a full test run of this. Everything worked, and now it has seemed to just broken. And I think that's just irony, isn't it, Whiskey? You do all these,
Definitely.
testing, and you do everything, and you make sure YouTube's stable and ACC is stable, and then it just breaks on you halfway through. Definitely very funny. Orlando Rats then leading the pack. He's going a bit slowly, isn't he?
He is.
So maybe cooling down the opponent's tires. I think he might be. Everyone's kind of on each other.
Might be trying to catch his opponent Chris Wachowski off guard when he.
But if he isn't careful, Chris is going to pull alongside him as an.
And we definitely have seen that before.
As they go to the slowly going to the start-finish line now. It's almost race start, everyone. Here we go. Rats leading us off with Chris alongside. Let's see what happens in turn 1. And that is... Ooh, not yet. Not quite yet. Not quite yet.
Yeah.
Is it?
There we go.
Green. Here we go. Rats getting a good start, but Chris getting such a good start as well. Chris trying to fit in. Chris might actually lose a position to Van Hooding. Oh, they're battling definitely alongside Ruben, challenging him for that position. Does Ruben get the outside on this corner? Yes, he does. We'll have the inside to the next corner. Chris doesn't back out. He keeps that battle in. No, ACC don't... oh, there it is. And as they joining them now, we have Grobner, I think. No, sorry. Yeah, there is. That's Grobner joining them as well. And Grobner somehow got past them both. So that is now Rats, Grobner. Yeah, look at that. So, oh my word. What a start that was. That was absolutely...
Oh! And we have someone off.
Yeah, I think I just saw that as well.
That was Chris Wachowski. Starting P2 is now in the sandpit.
No! I could have sworn we... Yeah, I did saw that as well. Okay, well... Continuing the race. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. So we did see the crash. And then ACC has decided to stop at the crash. We are going to try one thing here, see if that works. If that doesn't work, there it is. So we'll have a look at the race replay here, see if we can get some action of that crash that happened. Now see if we can see that. And look at that massive crash at the back. I do apologize that you can see this, Whiskey. Do apologize that you can see this. Massive crash at the back, really punting everyone just out of the way. Not ideal for these drivers, of course, but yeah, it happened. So currently in the lead, is it Lars, if I'm not mistaken?
It is still Orlando Rats in the lead right now. And George Brabner right behind him, P2, 2 seconds behind. And Ruben van der Hodding. Honestly, I don't think Orlando could have asked for a better first lap as he comes to the start-finish line to start out the first race. George is 2 seconds behind, and with Orlando's pace, if he can keep it consistent, he has a very good shot at keeping this position. But as we've seen in the past, George Brabner is an incredible driver, and he can definitely bring great results to the table, along with Ruben van der Hodding as well, and Felix Rupert.
You're going to unfortunately going in blind here. Currently,
as we see, Whitker Cervinsky also going into the grass for quite some time, but able to recover and go back onto the track. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm currently talking to one of our admins, and we're trying to figure this out. And as I said, we tested this on the exact same server yesterday, so we're kind of confused what it could possibly be. So we're going to try one more time here. Till then, Whiskey, it is all yours. You're going to have to, unfortunately, give us some solo commentary here. But yeah, we're going to try our best here, see what we can do and get the stream back up. We do apologize, everyone. We have tried our best. We tested this yesterday, but it just did not want to work today.
Sure, we see fights coming out right now for P3 and P4. Ruben van der Hodding and Felix Rupert very close together. I'm sure Felix is going to fancy a look at the end of the straight. We also see Travisky and Badescu also very close together. There's quite a gap between Timo and Sam Chumley. I'm not quite sure what that's about. if that's just by pace, but there's a 2.3 second gap between Timo and Chumley. Timo being P6 and Sam Chumley being P5.
That is, I mean, hey, if they're sticking in their position, that's good.
Definitely.
That is good. Sorry, I'm still trying to get this up. I've validated.
Yeah, sure. Oh, we see right now. Sorry, we see right now Philip Ansel and Nico Veldman going at it side by side. Right before Magnussen Beckett's, we'll see who backs out. Nobody's backing out. Now it looks like Philip has backed right behind Nico Veldman at the end of Magnussen Beckett's. What an incredible move. As we see them exiting Magnussen Beckett's onto Chapel, and they're still side by side. Philip with that incredible Pepsi livery. As we see, I think Nico got a better exit out of that as he takes the position, but Philip Ansel isn't giving it to him easily. And right behind Philip Ansel, we have Christian Strickler fancying a look down the inside, sticking his nose. And then as we get to the chicane, he backs away. George Brabner getting the fastest lap of the session when crossing the line. Still 2 seconds behind Orlando Rats. He needs to pick up the pace a little bit if he wants to close that gap. And we have Ruben van Hutting behind George Brabner, 1.17 seconds behind him. But right behind Van Hutting is Felix Rupert, about 0.4, 0.3 seconds behind him. So he is, I'm sure, looking in his rearview mirror quite a lot. So I don't know. It'll be impressive if he can close that gap while defending against Felix. But also behind Felix, we have closely behind Sam Chumley. So Felix is kind of sandwiched right now between Ruben in the front and Sam in the back. And Timo, 3 seconds now. I'm wondering if he has any damage. I'm sure if it doesn't look like he does. So if he hears this, he's probably going to be mad at me for asking if he has damage. But
might be very mad.
Yeah. We have Rene Bon and Hubert Jejura also fighting for P9. Rene in the Lamborghini and Jejura in the BMW. Oh, cutting a little bit into that corner. That was, I'm sure he got a little bit of a warning there.
I do have good news. It
okay.
looks like we're back on. I'm not gonna not gonna spoil it just yet. We're gonna hope this keeps. We're currently on board. So you said what? Ruben van Hutting? Sorry, next to him. Also, Rupert going for the move. Will he go for it? No, he doesn't. Will he go for it into the next one? No, he doesn't quite have the line. He might have the better exit. Yes, he does. As Ruben runs wide and Rupert sneaks past, but a McLaren of Samuel looking to make a move on Ruben now. Will he be able to do it? What an overtake that was. Well done from him.
And we almost saw a double overtake with Sam Chumley possibly capitalizing on that overtake of I think it was Rupert. So that is a very common thing to see. One person gets a very nice slipstream and then overtakes someone else behind them might follow. So sometimes it is possible to lose 2 positions in one corner. Which, depending on where you are, could either be very nice or very unfortunate. As we see.
I think Ruben isn't too happy about that, I'm going to be honest. I think he might be a bit upset that he got overtaken there. But hey, we'll see. Maybe he can still claw some back some points for the German team.
Definitely, and Ruben is quite the driver as well. As we see, basically everybody in the front, honestly, the top half of the grid, I know to all be very, very good drivers, and even people on the second half of the grid, very good drivers. Basically all drivers in the 2S ACC community are very good drivers. We do see here and then we see a little bit of contact or interesting collisions, as we saw in France last season with a collision that definitely would have red flagged a real race with a car going airborne, but it's good thing it's virtual.
Yeah, that might have been a red flag. Currently, we're going to have a look at P. Ansel down in P13, looking for a move on Smelt in front of him in the Lamborghini. Of course, both cars really fast in the straights, but that Lambo might just have a bit of a pace advantage. Look at
And
this.
it looks like is Ben Luce okay? Was that a blue flag for Ben Luce?
I do believe it was. I do believe it was.
Okay.
He spun out or something, but I do believe that was because he. It didn't look like there was any positions lost. But yeah, no. Honestly, as you said, the thing about this type of racing is it's so close, but it's amazing that the drivers somehow have the skill to keep it this close. It's really, it's. I think it's amazing for us commentators to see and to witness these guys, drive, because it really shows, the high skill level that these guys are on. Now, I do want to switch to Timo Braun, because he's kind of in his own race now, isn't he? I don't say he's in the middle of nowhere, but I mean, he, P5 and P7 are both really far away, so he's kind of just driving his own race. Do you think that's a good thing, Whiskey? Do you think that's a bad thing? What do you think, is going through his head?
Honestly, it depends on where the space is. For him, the space is in both the front and the back. Having space in the back is great because you don't have to worry about defending from anyone as we make it halfway through the race. Just wanted to put that out there. But the thing about having space in the front too is you're far away from someone where you could gain a position, but you have this space to really try and basically do hot laps around the track and try and close that gap, while I'm sure Sam Chumley and Ruben van der Hutting aren't doing quali type lap times because they're fighting with each other. And if I was Timo, I would be hoping and praying that they do fight each other so that that gap can close, because I know Timo, I don't think he usually drives the BMW, so this might be a completely new experience for him. But in previous series and seasons and different sims we've done, he is quite the driver. He's a very good driver, and yeah, I think he, with this new update and probably I think it's a new car for him, he might be struggling a little bit, which is why we do see that gap.
Sorry, the McLaren of Samuel goes extremely wide, and he now loses almost all his time. Well, not all his time, he loses a lot of time to Ruben, and I think that might just be his P5 kind of in the coffin, because if he didn't get a warning flag, he is still extremely far now, almost a second behind Ruben. So, Ruben kind of has a bit of a gap now. I don't say, to play with, but, he has a gap now to use. So if he can extend that gap and he can keep Samuel out of his slipstream, that, Samuel might have just unfortunately screwed his own race, which is definitely not good. I want to go down to P10 now. Hubert. Now, Hubert is looking for a move. Oh, no. Oh, just as we say that, everything was going well. Okay. It is Whiskey. It's your time again. Sorry, do apologize. It's your time again.
All right, Philip Ansel, 0.2 seconds behind Jasper Smelt, and they are just getting closer and closer. Philip goes a little bit wide coming out of that last turn, right before Maggots and Beckett's, as they go through it. See how the gap is. They very close. The McLaren to the the Lamborghini of Jasper. Yeah, out of the straight, it looks like Jasper got a slightly better exit, so I don't think we'll see an overtake here. But the rest of the grid, we see the Stricker twins next to each other for P15 and P16. Actually, it looks like... Oh, what happened to Chris? Oh, Chris is there. Okay.
Okay. What are we looking at?
A dive bomb. Chris Stricker just dove right into right through Ben Luce.
Weird.
Unless is he a? Oh, he is. Yeah, he's definitely a blue flag. Okay, that's why.
I was just about to say, I think he is a blue flag. Now, folks, we're gonna have a look. We are currently having a look at the stream. If it continues to freeze like this, unfortunately, we will not be streaming the second race. So we have 6 minutes just to have a look if it is stable or not, and then we'll see. But yeah, let's continue. Chris Stricker. Currently, his closest opponent, not been behind in the GTR.
see, Chris.
I feel
We have Chris and then Ben behind him. Ben
Oh, sorry, that's
Luce,
Ben.
which is is the blue flag. But then we have Ryan Noppen, who is also a silver class driver for the previous season, and also a very great driver. I think. Oh no, okay. For a second there, I thought he had damage.
Now the question
But
is,
we're good.
this is kind of what we were talking about, because Noppen behind is also in a Japanese car, just as Stricker. So now the thing is, does Noppen go for the move on Stricker, or does he just leave Stricker and say, listen, you are faster than me, just stay there? If Noppen gets close enough, that is.
I think, well, that's a very interesting question because, with this series, you do have to be cooperative, but I mean, this isn't something we've seen before anywhere else, is this country type fight. And so what could happen is if I'm a driver for Japan and I get up to a driver for Japan as well, and I'm just, I'm being held back by this person, I might say, look, I got a better pace, I'm going to overtake you. And because if you get held up, that could, get the person from Great Britain behind me closer to me and in striking distance. And so I think we'll still see probably overtakes between countries, but it's going to be very interesting to see how these drivers react to being possibly overtaken by their own country or something like that, because they might not expect it, or they might, fight back. It's very in the air because we've never really seen this before, so we don't quite know what to expect. Let's see if we can find any examples of the same country fighting. Let's see. I don't know if there's anybody close enough.
We have currently had another. Unfortunately, the stream has frozen again. So we are. I've been waiting to see if it will come back, but it hasn't come back yet. So, folks, what we're gonna do is we're gonna give it a second here. Whiskey is going to talk us just a bit through the last few minutes of the race here. Whiskey, if you don't mind, I think there's like 3:40 remaining-ish.
Yeah, about 3:38 right now. And we have Nico Veldman extremely close to Hubert Jejura in Maggots and Beckett's. But, in Maggots and Beckett's, I don't think I've ever seen an overtake there. So we see them coming out of Chapel. Yeah. We see them coming out of Chapel right now onto the Hangar Straight. And, yeah, it's still very, very close. We are seeing quite a bit of fighting. Oliver Stricker on Kruisvaar for P14. Oliver pretty close, about half a second. And we see Philip Ansel and Jasper Smelt still haven't given up their fight. Who's that going very wide?
Now is we're just gonna finish up the last 2 minutes 44 seconds of the race, and then I think unfortunately we'll have to end the stream. We are currently in talks with just the management, and it doesn't look like a problem on either of our sides. We thought initially it was deliveries. We had an error code that was given to us for deliveries, but that has turned out that it isn't deliveries, unfortunately. So I think it's either a server side thing, or it might just be a server PC thing where the server is kind of constantly kicking the PC out, or it might just be that the PC doesn't have stable enough connection to the server, unfortunately. So we are trying our best. We will definitely let you all know. We're gonna try and of course do the next 3 races. The next 3 rounds, sorry. But yeah, today unfortunately we did test this as we said, and it just hasn't been our day. But you know whose day it has been, Mr. Whiskey?
Orlando Raz.
Yes, it has. Look at that gap. He has quite a substantial gap to Brabner behind him, and he's just kind of, I think at this point, come on, you have to admit, he's just on a Sunday cruise, isn't he? He's just kind of,
definitely
saying, it's fine, I'm not really in danger from behind. Got an open track in front of me. I can just, kind of cruise. This is my race. I've won this.
You always gotta think about the commentator's curse whenever you say that with a minute and a half left.
Yeah, but I'm saying it. Maybe we can see some action. Spinning or something, and Brabner gets on him.
Yeah. But really, I mean, I did not come into this thinking that I would see a 6-second gap with somebody and George Brabner behind him for P1 and P2. George Brabner, an incredible driver. And yeah, Orlando Rats has just come out of nowhere and just taken it. It's been very incredible. And we do still see a lot of fighting throughout. A fight for P7, a fight for P5, and a fight for P10. At 10, 11, and 12, actually. Wow, actually, 10, 11, 12, and 13. This is a 4-person fight right here, which is pretty crazy. Still 35 seconds left in the race. Anything could happen. As Orlando Rats, did he just set another best?
I think he might have. I think that might have actually been another best. Decent, sure.
Another best lap, which he's doing a just awesome job as we get 10 laps, and this is going to be our final lap of the race because there's only 10 seconds left in the race, and then they finish the lap they are on.
And for the final lap, I think it is just customary that we finish the lap on board with him. Do you want to take us through it?
Sure. So here we go. We are just getting out of, I believe, Maggots and Beckett's onto the Hangar Straight, and this is a Aston, which I don't usually drive. I don't think I've actually driven it in the sim at all. We do see him adjust a certain setting right before he gets into this chicane, this turn for Stowe, as we see him go onto Vale. And you really got to wait till you feel the traction bite there and to put the hammer down onto this straight going into Abbey, then Farm and Village. I've always loved these turn names for Silverstone.
Absolutely beautiful, aren't they? They're absolutely beautiful. Missed Apex a bit there, but it's okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I think here he has a 6-second gap, and I think he's trying to play it safe, not going super crazy with, you know, hitting everything and trying to set a best lap, because he does. I'm sure he knows that if something crazy does happen and he completely messes up or slides or whatever, that he can compromise his race.
Exactly.
Even though he does have a 6-second gap.
Exactly. And as we say that, I think he's going to be extremely glad he has that second gap, because, ladies and gentlemen, they're across the line. Orlando Rats as your race winner. Right behind him, we have Brabner. Right behind Brabner, we have Van Hudding. And then, I'm not even going to... Samuel, that is. Braun coming up then in P5. I still don't know how to say it, man. P6 goes to Rupert. Fortunate race for him. Sherwensky goes into P7. P8 goes to Bon. P9. Sorry, P9 and P10 still going to be decided here, I think. P9 looks like it goes to Illinger. P10 to Feldman. And... Sorry, no. P9 goes to oh, my word. Help. I don't know how to say that.
Jajura.
Yeah, okay, whatever. No, P10 to Feldman, P11 to Smell, P12 to Krusovar, P13 to Stricker, P14 to the other Stricker, P15 to Ansel, P16 to Ropin, P17 to Rajnova, P18 to Biddle, P19 to Czechia, P20 to Illinger, that is, I think, yeah, P21 to Witalski, P22 to Kirchbaum, bro, these name, man. P23 to Molten, P24 to
Vaniolo.
Yeah, you know, I'm not good with names, okay? P25 to Vetch, P26 to Konov, P27 to Bond, P28 to, yeah, and that is how it goes. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a beautiful first race. So, we have figured out the problem, we think. We're thinking it is a streaming software, so we're going to try and bring you free practice, and we're going to try and bring you quali, and then if those two are stable, we will try and bring you the race, hopefully.
I think this is actually... Is there a free practice again?
Yeah, there's like a 5-minute free practice, it's almost nothing.
Oh yeah, that's right, yeah. That's right.
We think it's a streaming software itself that's causing the problems, unfortunately, you know?
Yeah, possibly. We see, you know, there were a lot of winners in that race, but we also see a lot of losers. unfortunately. We see winners. Obviously, we have the winner, Orlando Rats. We have Venda Hudding. We have George Brabner, Sam Chumley. Losers would definitely, I think, Chris Wachowski did a great job at. He started high up on the grid, I'm pretty sure, and that unfortunate incident in turn one brought him right back to the back of the grid, which he never recovered from. I think he got a good amount of damage from it, and that was kind of his race right there. You know, they always say you never win a race on the first turn, but you can definitely lose a race.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah.
Sorry, I think the first lap, lap 5 laps, I think that might have been where he noticed, he kind of won that race because, that just shows you how much of a pace advantage that he has. I mean, to be 6 seconds ahead of anyone, that is an absolutely amazing gap, and it's really something. I think it's something to kind of be in awe about, if that makes sense.
Definitely, and especially with this community where it's very rare for one person to be such an outlier when it comes to something of that like scale. 6 seconds in 20 minutes for a P1 P2 gap is incredible, and especially since P2 didn't have any issues whatsoever. George Brabner, he did start P3, but with that incident, he was already, it was I think there was a 1 second gap maybe between P1 and P2 after the incident. So that 6 second gap was purely the difference of pace between those two. And I said at the beginning, right before the race, I said that he had a really good qualifying, but that doesn't quite mean that he's going to have a really good race. Well, I guess I can take my words back because Orlando Rats did have an amazing race.
Yeah, I mean, he might feel a bit offended by that. He's going to watch that back and he's going to be like, excuse me, you said what? You said what about me? I had an absolutely amazing race. No, but honestly, it's I think it's something else to see as because I mean, saying something like that, it isn't something that goes lightly. I mean, that's something we've seen a lot of as commentators is that someone will qualify really good and then comes race and they're it just doesn't fit them. So I think for someone to do that, definitely really special, and that definitely deserves a huge congrats to Orlando. He really put in the effort, and it definitely showed. I can tell you that.
Yeah, for sure. And
Hopefully he can do it second race. Hopefully he can do it second race as well.
Definitely. And we do have another qualifying session, which we usually don't do. Usually the qualifying session from the first race just transfers over to the second race, which was interesting because that would give, let's say someone was in P1 and they had a big crash, that would kind of give them a second chance at points. But this time around, we're doing a whole new qualifying session for the second race, which is also very interesting. So, I can't wait.
No, I honestly cannot wait either. I think these drivers, all they can kind of hope for now is just to get a better result that they can previously. I know it sounds stupid and kind of, oh yeah, that's common sense. But that's kind of, all they can hope for, because, especially drivers, that had massive accidents or stuff like that, it's kind of, they're kind of in a position where, listen, I need to pick up the points in race 2, because if I don't, I'm kind of screwing over my whole country, if you get what I'm saying. So, they need to, the people who really had bad finishes, all they're hoping for is they need to get a really good qualifying, somehow get, in that top 10, top 5, and just keep it clean for the whole race. Because, a lot of them, as you see at the start, if it's a bad turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, that might be a race ender for them, unfortunately.
Definitely. As we saw with Chris Wachowski, he, that incident at the beginning just cost him points. Cost him all of the points. Because the top 20 finishers, it's a very interesting point system we have, which I'm not going to get super deep into because it's very complex, but basically you can't get points outside the top 20, and within the top 20 there's only a certain amount of people per country that will get the points, if that makes sense. So if all top 20 are one country, and only the top, I think it's like 8 or something, will get those points towards the championship for countries that might not have as many drivers as other countries.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually pretty. That top 20 dynamic is really important. But I have unfortunate news, Whiskey. I have really unfortunate news. I have really bad news. So
It's frozen.
While you were talking, thank you very much, by the way. I was having a talk with some of the admins, and we were going through, and we thought that it might have actually been a patch that was released, because that would make sense. The patch of yesterday, or that came out early this morning, affected a lot of stuff. But if it is the patch, it has completely, unfortunately, broken it. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna try our best here, but we have decided that if we have too many crashes or too many freezes, we're unfortunately gonna have to stop the stream. We are gonna try our best to keep this rolling. We're gonna connect again, but yeah, if it keeps crashing, we do want to keep the highest possible quality on the stream, and we think that if we're keeping it, as it is currently, that isn't the highest possible quality we can give. So we do want to say sorry for that. We of course have tried our best, and it should be fixed by. Oh no, there it goes again. I don't know. Honestly, do you have any ideas? Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, especially with if it ends up being an update issue, we just have to wait for a patch or something like that to come through. I'm not sure, but we will definitely try things out off the stream when we're not racing to try and figure out the issues that have been going on.
The thing is, and it's so weird, folks, just to give you an idea, yesterday myself and Strix, he's one of the managers here at 2S, absolutely wonderful guy. We were sitting in Discord, and we had the exact streaming software. We had ACC, 2 or 3 of the custom liveries. We had everything running, and it worked smoothly. We were running it for about 10-15 minutes, and it didn't have any problems. So seeing this is, yeah, we're definitely gonna work on it. We're gonna put our backs into it. Yeah, we'll probably talk to the guys at ACC as well, at Kunos, maybe ask if they have any ideas. What we're gonna do is we're gonna try this one last time. If it doesn't work now, or it freezes again, then we will unfortunately have to end the stream. We do really apologize, but this just isn't really what we want. But Whiskey, to be quite fair, whatever happens, it's been an amazing first race so far, hasn't it? I mean, oh my word, these guys really know how to race. They really know how to race, don't they?
Definitely, and what's really cool about this is we have 4 tracks, and they're 4 very different tracks, and so I don't think we'll be seeing the same people on top every time, which is in our previous series, we see for the most part, we'll see a group of people that we'll see like very much on the top, but everybody has their good tracks and everybody has their bad tracks, and everybody has a track that they haven't practiced as much. Maybe stuff in their personal life has gotten in the way and stuff like that. So it's always, every track and every race is always very different and very exciting, and this race is no different. This last race was 20 minutes of really just pure action. Even if it wasn't the front of the grid, there's always action right in the middle, and it's always very safe. It's not dive bombing or anything like that. It's very professional and respectful driving we see from these guys, which is always great to see.
But saying that, it also isn't easy driving. They're still really pressuring each other, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah.
Yes, of course, they aren't going for massive dive and crashing into each other, but they're still so close constantly. They're really on each other, and I think that just shows also as well, Whiskey, is the amount of trust they have in each other, because you have to quite have to trust another person a lot to have that much trust in them, to trust this guy isn't going to screw you over. Now, talking about trust, Currently, we are on board of Orlando, and we have a Lexus in front, but I think, unfortunately, Orlando's push lap might have just been screwed up by that Lexus, because
And
it looks like he was going really fast, and then the Lexus misses braking points, and that caused Orlando to miss his as well, unfortunately.
also, if you have the times up, George Brabner is currently P1 with a 158.360, but Rupert. Okay, so I think it just changed, but yeah, exactly. Rupert set the exact same time down to the thousandth of a second. So right now it's Chris Wikowski on the top of on the front of the grid,
Never mind, it
and
isn't.
then Orlando Rats.
It's Wiskowski and Rats now. It's Wiskowski and Rats. Okay, but to be quite fair, Rats' lap was screwed up, and he still managed to put in the P2. That's not too bad. If he
That is impressive.
Put a clean lap out here in a second. He might. I think he might be going for a cool down lap, and then the next one might be push lap. But I mean, genuinely, he could look at. I think he's looking at a P1 start again. I genuinely do think he's looking at P1 start again here, Risky.
And to be honest, you know, P2 and P1, you know, it's a very, very slim difference of opportunity, if you get what I'm saying. You are side by side on a rolling start, so it's really who has the best reflexes is who gets out on top, because we have seen in the past that sometimes drivers will be what's it, I don't know how to say it, like they'll be not surprised, but kind of like, oh we have a bit of a spin by Krushvar, who's just teleported to pits. But yeah, so just the start of the race is always very it's not cut and dry, to be honest. If you're P1, you might lose that almost immediately if you're not careful.
But we have also seen at Silverstone that P1, tends to kind of, be the guy who can, does have that bit of reaction time, or P1 is the guy that tends to, get a bit of a better jump. It can of course change, but yeah, we'll have to have a look. Now, as I say that, Orlando Rat's going very slowly through the last corner. Why, you might ask? Well, Whiskey, I assume he's lining up for his final push lap here. I think he is.
And I think you're right.
So we are going to go on board with the man himself. The reason we're mostly going to go on board with him is because otherwise it's going to take about a million years to page for everyone else. But I mean, yeah, let's go on board with him. Beautiful turn one there, absolutely amazing. We're really cutting it very nicely. Beckett's now, I believe. Yeah, it is. Oh no. Oh, it was looking so promising, Whiskey. It was looking so promising.
Did something happen?
Yes, it froze again. It decided that it wanted to freeze again. Okay, but I mean,
I thought something was happening with Orlando.
No, unfortunately not. Okay, but Risky, what you can do is for the next 56 seconds, give us a bit of an update on the timing leaderboards, and you can give us our start for
sure.
The race.
Yeah, so as we were on board with Orlando, so I am just going to talk a little bit about what's going on with him. Right now, he is on the Hamilton Straight, turning in, and he still looks like he's still doing an incredible job. I do think that P1 is in his abilities right now, as long as he nails all of these, and it looks like he is. We have P1 right now is Chris Wikoski, P2 is Orlando Rats, P3 Rupert, P4 Badescu, and P5 is George Brabner. So George Brabner not doing as well as before in P5 right now. He was P3 last race. As we see, qualifying is technically finished. Everybody has to finish their lap. Let's see what he's doing right now. He's a 1:55, 56. See? And he does get P1 pole position for Orlando Rats by about 0.02 of a second off of Chris Wikowski. What a awesome flying lap. That was great. As we do see a few more people just having to cross the finish line. Not any dramatic changes in the order. After George Brabner, we have Sam Chumley, then Ruben van der Hudding, then Kirschbaum, Chavinsky, Timo Brown, René Bon, Nico Veldman, Hubert Jejura, Philip Anstel, Chris Stricker, Kushvar, Oliver Stricker, Kononov, Renoa, Nopin, Verniolo, Chikeka, Ben Luce. Let's see if I can see everyone else. We have Jack Bedell, Andrew Moulton, Marvin Betch. Trumeski didn't set lap time, neither did Romsey Jensen or Jasper Smelt.
Okay, so is our starting grid then? So our top 4 then is?
Top 4 is Orlando Ratz, Chris Wachowski, Felix Rupert, and Badascu. So Sam Chumley and George Brabner and Ruben van der Hudding out of the top 4. We have 2 people who are not usually in the top 4, although Rupert did have a pretty good qualifying last race. But Badescu, coming out of nowhere, I don't remember where he was last race, but I'm pretty sure he was pretty far in the back of the grid during the race. I saw. I don't know if that was an incident or if that's just what qualifying put him as. But now we have about 2.5 minutes till the start of the race. How is the stream still down?
Unfortunately, we have had a bit of a talk with everyone, and it seems we've tried to problem solve as much as we can. We've taken all the custom deliveries, taken out the custom camera software. We've left and rejoined server. We've checked the server settings. We've checked the PC side. We've checked the server side. So the only thing we can unfortunately conclude is that the patch might have broken the physical broadcasting mode. So for those who don't know, they're on this ACC. You can physically join as broadcasting, and then from there you can tune that to match your software and whatnot. So we think it's either something of OBS or ACC or just ACC. But unfortunately, at this moment in time, we don't want to give you guys horrible content, and because of course you guys don't deserve it. So unfortunately, everyone, it has been a brilliant race 1. If you want to have a look at race 2's results, please do join it.